My name is Jamille Matt. I'm a professional footballer, born in Jamaica, but grew up in Walsall from the age of 10 years old. Growing up in Jamaica was good. I had a good, fun childhood, a lot of family and cousins growing up there. So on weekends, used to go to the beaches and stuff. It was quite a fun childhood and fond memories of my time there. The weather was definitely very different in England when I moved here. When I got off the plane, first flight, taking my mum's coat off her because she had a furry leopard print coat and I had to take it off her because I was freezing. But yeah, it was definitely something to adjust to. The weather was very different and very cold. When I first moved to England, I first lived in Palfrey, also lived in Plec and then later in Karma and in Bescott. And my earliest memory of moving here was getting ready to go to school. I went to Karma school initially. Year 5 I joined. The first one I can remember is in Jamaica. At the time, I think it was the '94 World Cup. I would have been around 4 or 5. Jamaica hadn't qualified for a World Cup at that point, so a lot of Jamaicans tended to support Brazil. Brazil went and won that World Cup, '94 World Cup, and one of my earliest memories is my dad putting a Brazil top on me and we were running up and down the street celebrating. Football helped me integrate into life in Walsall. When I first went to school, it was one of the first questions I got asked is, who do you support? My dad at the time was an Arsenal fan, so naturally I was then an Arsenal fan myself. Getting onto the playground and playing with friends, I kind of, realised I was, something I enjoyed and excelled at. So at that point, it was something I kind of started to dream about is, could I potentially make it professionally? So the first football team I played for was Silverdale. I'd gone to secondary school. On the playground, I think I quite excelled at playing football. So it was actually a couple of my classmates and schoolmates that asked me to come along to training with themselves on a Friday night. It's something I enjoyed quite a lot, so ended up playing matches for them for a few years. Through that, I actually went to my first Walsall match with a close friend of mine from school. I was desperate to kind of, get a trial with Walsall at that point, which at that point never actually happened. I think I spoke about it when I first signed for the club. Signing for Walsall has been a passion of mine. It's something I've kind of always wanted to do, is to sign for Walsall, and came close to happening a few times. When it finally happened last year, it was something I was very happy about. Something I've also made clear, it's not something I just want to sign for the club as a passion just to play for the club. It's something I want to be successful with the club, and that's part of the reason I really wanted to sign for the club. But yeah, it's given me immense pride to play for the town I grew up in. I want to do the town and the team proud. Local clubs like Silverdale are massive for any young player looking to develop and to take another step into higher football, I suppose. It's where you first start playing, where you learn the basics, where you make friends, where you integrate with other people, and probably just opens your mind to possibilities. So if it wasn't for a club like Silverdale, I definitely wouldn't have had the opportunity to then go on to making it as a professional. I've got children. I've got a 7-year-old son. My son growing up now, there's possibly a wider range of activities available, but like the key thing, like the actual access to them and being available for children. I think a lot of them can be priced at a very unreachable price for parents, especially with the cost of living and how things are at this current time. The actual access and being able to access them to everyone, I think, can be something that can be made a lot more readily available for children. I think it's very important to have programs like Access to Sport to help children. Like I said, speaking from my own personal experiences, if it wasn't for sport, I probably wouldn't have been able to integrate into a new country, into a new environment, to make friends and kind of to feel confident in my environment. And I think it's made me a better person. I think in terms of it's shown me parts of the country and also parts of the world further on in my career. So I think it's very important to have programs such as Access to Sport to show kids the possibilities of what's out there for them, and that can help them. Not every child is going to be academically brilliant, so might be more inclined towards sport. Programs such as Access to Sport are something that can definitely help children to realise this. If I'll give one piece of advice to my younger self, it would be taking everything as much as you can and just learn along the way. Take every experience, everything you come across, just take it in and try to reflect on it and just try to learn from every experience, because sometimes you're not sure what something's teaching you at that moment in time, but when you look back, you can draw on your experience and it can help you in future experiences also. My first pair of football boots, looking back, were a pair of Diodoras. They were black and white, and at the time, to be honest, I actually got made fun of for wearing them because they probably didn't look the best, but I was so happy with them. I know my mum and dad had worked really hard to be able to buy me those pair of football boots, and I can still picture them now. And yeah, they're something, it's a memory I cherish. The first football jersey I owned would have been, as I mentioned earlier, my dad got me a Brazil top. I would have been 3 or 4 years old. A yellow Brazil top from around the 1994 time. Yeah, I've actually not got any pictures of it, which I'm a bit gutted about, but that's the first jersey I owned, and something, like I said, it's a memory of with my dad, obviously, again, that I cherish. My advice to a young person that's maybe immigrated to the country, or just kind of having trouble integrating, is just, go out there and find what your interest is, and just try new things. If you try new things, you will find someone, I think, who is like-minded like you, and find maybe your place a lot more comfortable within yourself and within your environment. So I think you've got to put yourself out there. Yeah, eventually you can become more comfortable. It would have been psychologist. My journey was, I went to professional football a little bit later. I actually went to university, actually obtained a degree as a counselling psychologist. So I probably would have, in my last year, I had the opportunity to go professional. I was juggling both, but I probably would have carried on with that path at that time. But I was quite fortunate to be able to offer the chance to go professional, and 10 plus years later, I'm still going. So happy and grateful for those opportunities. In the next 10 years, I just see myself trying new opportunities. I'm not 100% sure what the future holds. I'm still got a lot of life left yet playing, but I do, know as a footballer, the time does come eventually when you have to retire, and as an athlete, the time comes when you have to retire. I've always been prepared for, or trying to prepare for, life after professional sport and football. But just kind of, the main thing I've always wanted to do is just kind of keep helping people. I'm a massive believer of, in empathy and being able to speak to people or help people, and just like people have helped me in the past. So whatever I do, it will be helping people in some way. I'd say the main ones that stick out for me, I was playing at Silverdale, so starting out at Silverdale, a guy called Martin Hart, who was at Sutton Coldfield Town's under 17s, who I signed for. Sutton Coldfield Town were a semi-professional team at the time, and he gave me the opportunity to go and play with them. Eventually, I went into Sutton Coldfield Town's first team, so Martin Hart was the first one who gave me the opportunity to kind of play at a little bit of a higher level. Going into Sutton Coldfield Town's men's team, I then had the opportunity from there to go on to Kidderminster Harriers. Gary Wild and Steve Burr were the managers, assistant manager at Kidderminster Harriers, so I owe a lot to them as well, giving me the chance in the professional game then. There's Graham Alexander, who took me from Kidderminster Harriers to Fleetwood Town, my first football league club. And there's a lot of times he was very hard on me, and I probably didn't like him very much, but he gave me the greatest grounding, like I say, in my career in terms of how to be professional. He'd played himself until his, I think, early 40s. I think he made his Premier League debut when he was late 30s. He was someone who was very hard on me, but it made me the professional I am today in terms of doing all the off the pitch work that I need to do to keep fit and strong. So yeah, I'd say they're the main ones in terms of making me a professional and giving me longevity in the game.